Nestle is regarded as one of the most hated companies in the world. People also say that the company is evil for various practices that are attributed to it. But before we go into the details of that, let's take a look at Nestle as a company. Nestle is the largest food and beverages company in the world. They have more than 2,000 products under their name and are present in more than 190 countries. The company has over 340,000 workers in across 187 countries. Whenever the discussion of evil corporations and unethical practices pop up, Nestle always finds its way to the top of the list. With over 340,000 workers manning 447 plants across 190 countries, one must wonder why it is so. Well, we found ourselves asking the same question, which is why we took a dive into the matter of things. Nestle was started in 1867 in Switzerland by a man named Henry Nestle. His idea was to introduce to the world a milk-based baby formula that would nourish children whose mothers were not able to breastfeed their babies. It wasn't purely the product that attracted all of the negative attention towards Nestle. Rather, it was how it was marketed. Nestle led its customer base to believe that breast milk was insufficient for babies and then proceeded to push their product, saying that it contained everything infants need. Now, most experts say that breast milk is more than sufficient for growing infants. So this move was seen as clearly unethical by a lot of people. But the issue was the consumer base was not aware, and we'll talk about this a lot more later in the video. Another thing to keep in mind is that this isn't the only incident that led to Nestle being on top of the throne of the most evil corporations on earth. Did you know that Nestle killed babies? Yes, in the 1970s, when they decided to expand their baby formula products, they had to target newer markets. And to do so, they manipulated parents into believing that breast milk wasn't enough and Nestle was far better for infants. Their targeted customer base was in developing and underdeveloped countries around Africa and South Asia. In these regions, a lot of undereducated mothers replaced breast milk with this Nestle product. This, coupled with dilution for cost saving, resulted in mass undernourishment, which ended up killing a lot of infants in the region. Now let's talk about Nestle's packaged water sham. Nestle has various brands of packaged water under its name, and most of these, if not all, use single-use plastic, and this has become a major problem as they keep polluting the environment. And if claims are to be believed, out of most plastic bottles that are found on beaches, about 85% of them belong to Nestle. Let's leave aside the single-use plastic for a while. The water that is filled in these bottles are damaging the environment just as much, if not more. Despite all of the packaging and labels, most, if not all, water found in these bottles are groundwater and not some spring water. And the worst part of this is most of this water is taken from regions that are fighting it out for water. A lot of the population here have to resort to dirty water, whereas Nestle is extracting, obtaining and selling this water for profits. Overall, because of the way Nestle packages and obtains its water, it's damaging the environment on many fronts. Number one, it's causing pollution on land and in the sea, which is resulting in the death of a huge number of aquatic creatures. Number two, their practices often deprive locals of clean water. Did you know that Nestle also exploited children? Yes, Nestle has tons of cocoa-produced chocolate brands under it. Do you know how most of this cocoa was extracted? It was extracted through trafficked and forced child labor. After concerns were raised, Nestle said that it would take care of this by 2005. All in all, Nestle is one of the biggest brands on the planet and they cater to most of the world's population. And that is despite the fact that they indulge in all of these unethical practices. Nestle has various resources at its disposal. It wields a huge amount of power and influence, which has enabled them to get away with everything that has been happening. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching.